So here I am, in honoring Black History Month. I have a pretty great historical figure in the city I grew up in, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This book goes very in depth about his incident with the police and how he was shot 5 times. It also goes into great detail about his mental state, his spiritual journey, and his journey as a father, man, and also his identity as an activist and what his role is in the community. And you say he found his purpose from this situation. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. And today it's Friday, so that means another Fair Review Friday coming to you today. I'm not reviewing a game, movie, series today. I'm reviewing a book.
Check this out, y'all. Read a book.
So, I haven't read a biography in a long time, probably since high school. I've mainly just been reading educational books to teach myself about finance, how to be a better artist. So a little bit of backstory. I got this book. Well, I've known Leon Ford for about 4 or 5 years now. I met him at my alma mater, Duquesne University, because he was going there. He was enrolled as a freshman, and I got the pleasure to meet him thanks to some networks I had at the school at the time. And we developed I'd say a pretty good relationship. We can't say we were like super close friends or anything, but he remembers me. And I came to the event, his Here Foundation event, and I spoke with him. It just happened to be my birthday, and he signed the book for me. And there was no way I was not going to read this book and not do a review on it. The fair review method is being switched up for a biography, and I chose to cover the genre, the characters, the writing style, the conflict, and the resolution of the book. Because I believe no matter what book you read, there's always a form of conflict or a problem that needs to be solved. And the book should show you a resolution or some kind of conclusion towards the end. And that's how I'm going to be judging this book. Leon Ford is from Garfield of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. In the beginning of the book, it starts off at a funeral and him talking about how his earliest memories of death are at 5 years old when his cousin gets murdered. And he remembers talk about masculinity here. He remembers seeing his older cousin and just not thinking it's real, and then not crying about it and telling his dad, I didn't cry. His father's an interesting character because he is a renowned, very notorious hustler in the community. He has respect, and then of course his sons, his daughters, his girls, they all have the same respect that he has. And I'll touch more about that relationship, but moving on. So this is an early form of trauma that you get to witness in Leon Ford's life, and this continues as more death continues to grow into his life, and you realize like, oh, me being from similar communities, this is real. Then going into his police incident, he was shot 5 times in the back by a police officer, and he was stopped because they thought that he was somebody who he wasn't. And to his credit, yes, Leon Ford did do some things in the past. He talks about his drug dealing days in this book and how like he didn't sell it to people, he would sell it to people who would just buy everything off of him and then go sell it for themselves and just make like quick 10,000. And I mean, still hustling, but at the same time, he was doing this young. He was doing this in high school, and he was just like quick flips because he knows people, and he realizing like people were getting over on me, and people constantly telling him, even his father telling him like, these streets aren't for you. I don't want you in these streets. If you about to be running these streets, I'm not about to be giving you money no more because you don't need me right now. During this point, his father was in prison at the time, going his own way to end up being unlawfully stopped by the police. And the description of it, he is very calm, and it's almost like vividly how the writing goes into it, makes it very vivid. You can really picture it very well. about how he did everything right in that moment. He was calm, he was answering the questions, but the aggression of the police officers saying, "Are you Lamont Ford?" That's what they were calling him. Constantly calling him, "Are you Lamont Ford?" And he's like, "No, I'm not Lamont Ford." Eventually, he starts fearing for his life, and another police officer crawls into the car on the other side of his door because he's in the driver's seat. And he pulls off trying to escape, but he crashes into something, and the police officers end up firing 5 shots into his back. And just the writing, how delicately it expresses how he almost lost his life and how he was just hanging on, and just thinking about how he was to go down in this moment. Oh, it's over for his father. His father was about to go back into jail. He was thinking about the people who needed it, relied on him, and that's what helped him maintain his consciousness, and he didn't fall asleep in that moment because he didn't feel like he was passing on. Like very mind-blowing. This is just the forward of the book. It's not even before you start even getting into the chapters where you read about this, and it calls it baptism by fire. And the spirituality in this book hits home because it's miraculous situations that can only be expressed through writing, because otherwise, if you weren't there in the moment, or Leon Ford themselves watching the miracles happen, you wouldn't be able to explain it. Or so this book does a great job of explaining these situations. And I agree, like, I do believe in the baptism by fire of people who go through situations that are completely life-changing, and him being paralyzed from being shot, and then his family didn't know that he was alive. They didn't disclose more details about the stop. They didn't say it was him. His parents just saw, someone was shot and in a car, and they were trying to figure out, where's my son? Nobody called them, let them know, like, we have your son here in the hospital. No, they had to track him down, and they wouldn't even allow his parents to see him. And he was talking about how much pain he was in waking up. And they were trying to interrogate him right after maintaining consciousness. They're trying to ask him questions. I don't know, you can really see kind of holes in the justice system, mistreatment. So as a biography, I would say this book stands very, very strong. It has great themes, strong chapters, and there's a chapter that stands out to me most. It's the chapter "We're Sitting Down with the Man That Shot Me." And this happened the afternoon of July 12th, 2021 in the Penn Hills Hotel downtown. And at this point in time of Leon Ford's life, he's really describing his spiritual journey. And he, like, this quote here, where he talks about how much faith he's had. Crazy. "I'm the type of person to jump out of an airplane and build a parachute on the way down. That is the level of faith I have." About you, that's a level of faith I would love to have. And so let's go into this conversation he has with Detective Derbish. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Very apologize if I mess up your name. It's a common thing on this channel. So the first words that Detective Derbish says to Leon Ford really shocked him. And so this is the man who not only shot him, but also didn't give him any form of closure. No kind of "I'm sorry." Leon Ford didn't win this court case. I mean, he got settled. This case settled, but he didn't get a winning judgment against Pittsburgh police. That never happened. The first thing the detective says to him is, "I admire you." The other two men looked at him, and then he continues, "You inspire me to be a better human being. You inspire the way I police and the way I mentor people within the department. I'm now a negotiator. I've talked to people out of SWAT situations and other tough situations like that. You inspired me to go after this position because I didn't want to be a regular police officer anymore. I wanted to really do something meaningful and save people." I told him I also want to save people.
I used to have dreams about killing a police officer. In that moment, I would have rather chose to retaliate, but I made a sacrifice and a choice to choose love.
And I think just being able to sit down and have this conversation is not only being brave, but is really taking on your trauma head on. And I know Leon Ford had went through so much mental health therapy and growth just to get to this point. And before this conversation, he had people praying for him. Him having to wake up before this conversation to read the book of David and then having people pray for him just shows growth and journey, that you can't do this alone, that you have to have the Spirit guide you through this so you can operate at a level of clarity that is above your highest self at this point. And so for biography, I think this holds up really, really well. It's very well written, helps you clearly see what's going on or what Leon Ford's thinking, processing in these moments. So I'm gonna give the biography portion for the genre a 20. Now for the characters, these are real life characters. And from Leon Ford's dad, his mom, Leon Ford himself, even the detective, these are real people. To the credit of Leon Ford's parents, I have to applaud y'all, because that is a great job that y'all did holding your son up at his lowest point in time. And I know he definitely could not have made it without you. There's a great highlight I would like to talk about parenting in this. I would not have survived but for the love and support of my mother and father. They showed and expressed that love in different ways. My mom would do anything to make me comfortable. Every day, she was willing to come over and cook and clean for me, while I remained in bed doing nothing for myself. On the other hand, with love, my dad would say, "Get your ass up. You ain't a bum. What's wrong with you? You're a grown man. Go and get your own food. I don't care if you're in a wheelchair." These are two different types of love, but they were equally important to me. If possible, children should not be deprived of the love of either parent. The way a father pushes you is different from the way a mother nurtures you. So this description of parenting is why I believe it is very effective and important to have both parents in your life to give balance to the children. The other people mentioned in the book, he discusses other activists in the community. This one in particular, Crump. They are quick to say he didn't deserve this or he did nothing wrong. Any problematic or troubling facts about the victim should be ignored. Why? We need to recognize that there are no perfect victims. It seemed that many high-profile activists like Crump work hard to perpetuate the narrative of the perfect victim. We are all equal under the law. We all are deserving of respect. No person's dignity or rights should be violated. No one deserves to be beaten, choked, or brutalized or shot. This quote comes from when Leon Ford was looking for an attorney and someone to support him. Crump was brought in and only brought the media. He didn't provide any solutions, and he attempted to make Leon look to be this perfect victim, which Leon knew and has taken accountable in this story about the things that he has done and does not advocate for them, but he has turned his life around. And he is saying that basically there are no perfect victims. People get hurt, everybody has a past. And still, people should be treated with respect and dignity. With respect and dignity, and of course, proper justice. And I think this is very, very bold to not be biased in an opinion, but also be authentic and make sure that you are truthful. And this is a great characteristic that Leon presents in this book. I respect that. He also describes a time where he was set to speak before a national audience, and he felt he was competing for his voice at the time with other activists. And his statement is, "I could not help but feel that a message was being sent. Could it be that some activists were only out to benefit themselves?" And this is a reality check for people, because you have to use discernment in terms of like leadership, because some people might only be there to get attention, because there are a lot of attention seekers out here on platforms, especially now where egos are overly inflated because you have a following. The writing of this book is almost like I'm reading a movie. It's very descriptive. You can feel the emotion of Leon and his psyche, his thought processes, even his thoughts of wanting to commit suicide because his life absolutely changed in this instance. You know, just getting your legs taken away, your dreams taken away from you, and you having to literally come to a reality check. You have a child on the way. That's another thing. Leon had someone expecting, and but still a bold man to continue forward. And I will give the writing of this book a 20 out of 20. It was well written. It was times I felt like it was an easy read and I couldn't put the book down the way it was flowing, and just wanted to continue to get through it and learn more about the story. Now, next is the conflict of the book. This book has so many conflicting pieces to it because you have, in the base of the setting itself, you have the justice battle between the Pittsburgh police and Leon Ford itself. So you have this courtroom battle. You also have the internal conflict Leon goes through with his rebirth, you know, battling his psyche itself, and, you know, and pulling himself out of his own ashes, basically. Getting used to the wheelchair, getting used to becoming an independent human again, and getting on his feet, as you would say. But also the social battle that he has to develop his character and his words to be able to express himself and overcome his emotions. It's a very big battle to overcome your anger to create something positive. So for this conflict being so deep, and even being, this is a year later that I'm re-recording this, and all this stuff in this book are still very relevant. This resolution is something I hope everybody who watches this hears. One thing I have come to understand is that ideology divides people, that it serves only as a roadblock. Often we make assumptions about people based on their group identity, Democrat, Republican, Baptist, Catholic, etc. I'm so grateful that I didn't grow up with any allegiance to any political party or religious group. My older brother, Dale, is a Jehovah's Witness. I have uncles who are Muslims. I have Catholic friends. I have friends who are Republican, others who are Democrats, some who are independent. In my circle, I know people who never vote. I don't judge them. They are human beings and they all have value. Now, in the world, America, I'm gonna use some marketing language here, segments everything. It seems like every time we try to find some new way to categorize people, and this continues to separate and divide each other. This is like the ability of humans being able to name things or name people. And this really divides human beings because, you know, we're all human at the end of the day. At least I hope we're all human at the end of the day. So that being said, for a resolution of this story and how authentic Leon Ford is and how he paints a picture of hope, unspeakable hope, and his real resolution was using his settlement to bridge the gap between the Pittsburgh police and the community, developing the HERE Foundation. So for the resolution, 20 out of 20. Now for the final verdict, I'll give the Unspeakable Hope 100%. So that is a 10 out of 10 for this read, and I highly recommend it. I'll leave the link to purchase the book down below. And remember, if you like more content like this, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment about what you want me to review in the future. Until then.